Namaskar, I am Dr. Garg. This is crucial aspect of hair transplant design. Man, Chapter 8A from the book Practical Guide to Hair Transplantation, interactive study for beginning practitioner. This chapter was written by me, and this is the part 5. This is the concluding, or you can say conclusion of all part, means part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just to rememorize you, part 1 was the topical zone of scalp, part 2 was the anti-hairline, part 3 was the temporal triangle, mid-scalp and the crown area, and the part 4 was the author's method of designing anti-hairline. I request you first read the chapter, then go through all the 5 part of tutorials for chapter 8a, and in the last you can solve all the questions given at the end of the book. And this presentation was given in the HairCon 2021, and in which I have included all the aspect of hair transplant designing, crucial aspect for the men. Namaskar. The designing of hairline. No conflict of interest. The aesthetics of the face lies in the proportion of one body part to another. The face is divided into equal third, upper, middle and the lower. When these proportions are maintained, the face looks aesthetic, but because of the AGA, when the hairline gets receded, then this proportion gets disturbed and there is a need to reposition to maintain that proportion, and that's what the role of anti-hairline and the hair transplant surgeon should do it effectively. That's what has been done in this case. So the hairline is basically, it does the framing of the face. The vertical framing is by the anti-hairline and the horizontal framing is by the temporal fringe, and both are needed. The frontal zone includes frontal area, anti-hairline and also the temporal triangle. This needs the reconstruction as well. The shape of the hairline can be triangular, can be round or oval, or can be square. Depending on the shape of the head or the skull, we decides on the line and also on the ethnic variation. The landmarks to reposition the anti-hairlines are mid-frontal point, frontotemporal point, and the parietal hump. Will take one by one. So first is the location of the hairline. There are different criteria for this. One is the horizontal and vertical plane, where they meet is the location of hairline. Another is 7 to 10 centimeter from the glabella in the midline. I take 7 to 8, and rarely I needed 9 centimeter. And another criteria is the forefinger from the glabella, and fourth criteria also some consider is the superior horizontal frown line. Here is the advanced grade of baldness, limited donor supply. I took it 8 centimeter, but still it looks pleasing. Another is the young boy, moderate availability of donor area, younger age group. I took 7.5. This suits to his face as well. Now the second is the frontotemporal angle or the point. This is very important landmark. Where the two line meets means the frontal and the temporal line meets. That is the point of FTP, and the angle formed by the two line is the frontotemporal angle, which is a very important landmark for the positioning or recreation of the anti-hairline. What happens in AGA? This FTP gets receded and there is a need to reposition that to maintain the facial proportion, and that what we do. Now there are the three criteria for repositioning. Understand that face is a three-dimensional structure, and to position any point in three-dimensional structure means space, you need three criteria or three plane. One criteria is the FTP lies at the level or just above to the midfrontal point. That's one. Second is the FTP lies in the vertical lateral canthus line. That's the second plane. Then we need the third plane also to position. There can be two conditions. One condition is where the parietal hump has not dropped down, but there is a receding of frontotemporal point, like in Norwood stage 1 to 6 usually. And second is the parietal hump has dropped down, like in Norwood stage 7 and sometime in 6 as well. So both conditions are different. In first condition, where the parietal hump is there, you relocate or reposition because FTP is there, but it got receded. But when the parietal hump has dropped down, then you recreate because one of the plane means parietal hump is not there. Let's go one by one. The condition 1, where the parietal hump is present, you must know these landmark. One is the superior temporal fringe and the parietal hump, lateral canthus, angle of mandible, sideburn, anterior border, posterior border, and a point anterior to the tragus. You must know, you must visualize and see these points and that plan. We know FTP lies in a vertical line of lateral canthus and it is above the midfrontal point, but we have to decide whether it is more anterior or posterior. For that we need one more vertical line. Most aggressive point placement is a line passing from the anterior border of the sideburn. Moderate criteria is line passing touching to the posterior border of the sideburn, and in advanced grade of baldness with limited donor supply, a line passing just anterior to the tragus can also reposition your frontotemporal point. Now this is what has been done in this case. Looks good. Another condition. Now see what has gone wrong in this case. Let's analyze. This angle is obtuse and it is looking unaesthetic. Let's analyze what happened in this case. This is receded frontotemporal point. Patient came to the surgeon and asked for the reconstruction, and he wanted a roundness over this because during childhood or teenage he had the round frontotemporal angle, and the surgeon created giving this ugly look, unaesthetic look, because the FTP is lower than midfrontal point. It should have been like the same. We should have maintained the same proportion in which the line got receded. So it should not be done. This is another blunder. See, full thickness graft has been put in the anterior hairline, making FTP lower than midfrontal point, and during the AGA process he lost the hair in the mid-frontotemporal area, giving this poor look. It should not be done as well. Now, very often patient comes and they want the lower hairline. So in that case, one thing you can do, you can create a widow's peak. Another thing is you can advance the anterior border of the temporal fringe, means the temporal triangle can be advanced. By making these two adjustments, you can create the illusion of low hairline, though you are saving the graft. This is what has been done in this case. Now the internal division of hairline, frontal tuft area, transition zone has got micro and macro irregularities and a defined zone. You can see here, they are the micro irregularities, they are the gaps, sentinel hair, and behind this is the defined zone. So how do we create? Let's take this example. Transition zone, defined zone and frontal tuft area, they were created, and you see a beautiful, natural looking, soft aesthetic hairline having transition zone with macro and micro irregularities and a defined zone and a tuft area. This has been designed very poorly frontotemporal point is lower than midfrontal point and the low density different direction. So it should not be done. He had the scar, we created the widow's peak without lowering the entire hairline, looks pleasant. Another case, oof, what has gone wrong in this case? Let's analyze one by one. The FTP is lower than midfrontal point and line looks straight. Third is multifollicular unit has been implanted in anterior line. Fourth is curl of the hair during implantation has not been taken care. And fifth is that hair are growing in different direction. So these are the 5 blunders or the mistake has been done in recreation of the anterior line. You should take care of all those points. So don't do this. Now the temporal area, the classification is class N is the normal, then there is a thinning T class, then the temporal fringe can be in vertical line to the sideburn, so it is P class, and further receding makes the class R. In last P and R class they need the reconstruction and T they need the medical management. So let's see this class. Here how do we locate the temporal point? There are the 2 lines. One point is midfrontal point, ear lobule, connect them. Another is the base of columella, center point of the pupil, draw a line where these 2 lines intersect is the point of TP. So that's how we decide upon. Another criteria for TP is that there is a definite relation between MFP and the TP, because when they recedes in proportion. So when you reposition them, maintain that proportion, and the distance between both the points should be less than 3 centimeter. If you keep more, like if you put MFP lower, then the distance will be more, or if you put TP much behind or posteriorly, then again the distance will be more and the aesthetic proportion will not be maintained and it will look unaesthetic. This is another case in which TP is at the position but anterior fringe has receded. I draw the line and I realize there is a deficiency in this area. I did the transplant in this, and you see without lowering the frontotemporal point, this has been recreated and looking aesthetic. This is another case, advanced receding of the temporal area. I created the conservative without making the ideal, which I can do later on. Another is, again, I created temporal fringe but in low density. Ideally, I should have put more graft. Third case is, I created and gave the reasonable density. Then last is the why do we need to create the parietal hump? So parietal hump is needed to position the FTP to draw a anterior hairline. Supposingly you don't create the parietal hump, so what will happen? You will put FTP on the receded or the lowered parietal hump, and the anterior hairline is created, and the frontotemporal point will be lower than the midfrontal point, giving an aesthetic look. That is the reason there is a creation of, we need to create the parietal hump. But what should be the height? What should be the location of the FTP? Again, 3 planes are needed. I am repeating. One we know, lower up we decide that this is midfrontal point and this is frontotemporal point, which is higher than this. So we knew one plane. The other plane we also need, whether anterior or posterior. For this we need a vertical line in an aggressive grade of baldness, line passing through the tragus, then moderate behind and anterior, which I explained you before. And this point should lie in the vertical canthus line. So let us see what we did in this case. We created the temporal hump. Initially anterior area was transplanted, then called back after 1 year, then remaining area was transplanted, and you see his face looks quite aesthetic and he is happy, and he has removed his glasses and started using the contact lens. This is another case, high grade of baldness using the hair patch. Another case, aesthetic hairline. Thank you very much.